Morning, YouTube. What's the deal? I'm in the office right now, man. I'm gonna get my workout in a minute. Oh, guess what? I forgot my tea. I'm always forgetting something, man, when you're trying to shoot. But, man, we got another little Stubbs on the way. My tea probably not even hot right now, for real. But, like I said, we got another little Stubbs on the way, man. It's crazy how it came about. Everybody... I don't know, man. It's just such a crazy feeling, just to have another baby on the way. And it's like, you can't take these moments for granted. And you always want to continue to, be the best. And you want everybody to go through it in the best way possible. Here go the tea. Merry Christmas, y'all. Bing. So, I was super excited when I found out. Truly super excited, man. I'm 29 years old. I do have one son already, which I love him to death. He's like my lifeline. He's like my, you set the camera up. He's like, just like one of my close friends. I try to keep him as close as possible, man. And the beauty about having kids is like you get to show them everything that you went through in your life and really, try to prepare them for life as well. And it's always a blessing to see them prosper in the ways that, you didn't understand when you were a kid, et cetera, et cetera. And, when we talk about, building up a generation and going on generational runs and generational wealth, et cetera, that people always talk about, it takes time. Every parent, man or woman, has to continually, strive in their life and then give it back to their kids and show them a different way of how you can do certain things. And sometimes they counteracts each other, but, for the most part, I think we can get in the way of the negatives when you're raising your kids, and you're supposed to be there for support, but you also have to let them be who they choose to be. Now, we're going to mold them. My philosophy on kids is to always mold your kids into who you want them to be, but also I want them to, have decisions. Like, I don't want to forcibly make my kid do anything, but I want him to be prepared to do it. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm going to push him in that direction. We always going away from the bad, but the bad going to happen. But always trying to push him away from the bad. But I want you to be prepared for the good. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm supposed to be as a father. That's who I am to my family. Showing my family, or at least telling them, because we haven't got to the point where, we could just give them anything or put them in a position to get them anything. We live good for ourselves, but, it takes a little while. So hopefully, like I said, my Lauren, my future, my son, my one son, and then my youngest son, who's not born yet, but, we show them things so they can be able to give back to their family. I do give my family experiences, though, but, we working on the money thing, you know what I'm saying? A little here and there, but we working on it. So, yeah, man, so when I found out, man, so this was what was given to me. Boom. I ain't even, what I'm saying, what Meek said, I ain't even crack a smile. I just smirked. And you feel me? I just smiled. I'm like, I knew it was my time. I knew my time was coming again. I was super happy, super excited, but, I just smiled 'cause I knew it was on the way. You know what I'm saying? In a relationship for, a year and some change. And, things been good, so you be willing to take that next step. I think all babies should be born out of love. It's hard to love a kid if you didn't love the woman, so definitely out of love, but man, I'm just super excited, man. And then, I don't know who out there, but I only wanted to have sons. Maybe a daughter when I'm old as hell and I could just pay attention to her. But then again, I don't want to be too old that I can't, direct her where she need to go and still be in the know, which I don't think I'm going to be that type of person. You know what I'm saying? At this point, certain people start to settle down, a little comfy in their ways, and, they don't move around as much. I still move around and do my thing. I think this was at, he was 12 centimeters, which is super small. It doesn't have a date on it. Got a time, oh yes it does. This was on the 17th of November. My little man was in there. He was already formed. I already knew it was a boy. I'm telling you. We had the gender reveal here. It's on my page. It was crazy. It was a happy moment for me because it was a relief, like I said, about having a daughter. I didn't. I have nothing against women, but I just didn't want a daughter. I want sons. When I get older, I would like a daughter. But right now I'm just focused on sons. And the only thing, it's a 10-year gap between, you know, my son that's out right now and then, you know, the newborn that's going to be coming in. And I don't know how they would get along. I wish it was sooner, but you can't rush love. And I always want stability. You know what I'm saying? I want to create a family. I'm not really like want to chase women and just have a bunch of babies out here. That's like my biggest fear, like having to like pull a Boosie. Like I got to call all these baby moms to get all my kids here. You know, it's just too much for me. I wouldn't want to do that. You know, it's too much over here, over there. I don't care how much money you got. Like, I mean, I guess it's when you got a place for them to come to, it's all good, but that's not something that I really strive for. But good tea. Tea been cleansing my body. So, but yeah, so I think when we found out we was pregnant, I went and bought this toy. It's the only toy we got. I'm trying to get the stroller. I'm trying to get everything. I'm trying to clear the registry before I just send the registry out. I would like that all my friends just get all the consumables and, you know, things, the one-use things, and put them in the way and get some clothes. But all the other stuff I'm trying to get because, you know, I want them to come from me. Like that's what his dad bought, you know, and that should be easy. That's nothing. Strollers, Shorty hard pressed about the Duna buggy, you know what I'm saying? Which I think is very, very ingenuitive. Like I like the Duna. They got the wheels on it, so you could go from a car seat to a stroller. I think I like that. So, you know, it's gonna be fun pushing around my little man. I got 2 sons. I can't be more happier to have 2 sons. Like 2 sons. So I'm trying to get my older boy to, you know, it's obviously not by this woman, but, you know, I'm trying to get my older boy to build that love for his little brother. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for a kid to build love, and it's not from his mom. But I want him to build love. I want him to be that role model in in my son's life, my other son's life. So, you know, I'm trying to definitely collaborate that. I think it'll be a big change for him. So I get him all breaks. So they'll be down here and I'll be bringing the baby back and forth between up there. And I just want them to like really have that, you know, bond, you know, even though it's a 10-year gap like Beater. I met people that had 20-year gaps and, you know, their brothers were still their best friends. I hope they get that bond and really love each other. I'm trying to keep them as close as possible. Yeah, him, I want my son to be the leader of, you know, all my kids. You know what I'm saying? He's already here. He knows who his dad is. He talked to his dad day and night, you know, before he go to school, after he go to school. So, you know, but this baby right here is definitely going to get all of me now that I'm in a pretty much stable position. And, yeah, I'm just super excited, man. So this was one of the things that we had. You know, we created everything. We like them type of people. I didn't want to pay for nothing. I wanted to build it all because we made memories putting all this stuff together. The whole family helped put this together. Everything that we had outside, you know, these boxes, whatever. And we get to keep those things. When you rent them out, you don't get to keep them. So, you know, we got to keep these things and they're still around the house. So it always brings me memories and stuff like that. So the homeboys helped me outside. It was windy that day. It was crazy balloons and all that. But you know what? A memory. So when we popped that, when we bust that, no, we had a cake. I had a cake with the ultrasound on it. So they put it on there and then you had to burn it through. It's called a burn away cake or something like that. So you burn it, then it tell you what you had. It was a beautiful cake. I really did like it. So you burned it, but I had seen it before everybody else. So I was already happy. If you see the video, I was already happy. Touchdown, you feel me? So after that, you know, they shot the mist in the air and it was beautiful. It was a boy. You know, I had to hit him with the, you feel me? You know how they be doing. I'm a Hall of Famer, baby. 2 boys, boy. I ain't playing with them. Like 2 boys. I was super excited, man. I promise you, if I would have seen Pink, whoo, I don't know what I would have did. I don't know, like certain people. I don't know. I can't really speak on that, man. I don't know, but yeah, I ain't a girl. Whew. I ain't, feel me. I wasn't going, bro. I wasn't going. Y'all let me know, like, what would you prefer, a girl or a boy? I'm not trying to hear that I need to love from a girl and all. I get that from all my kids, you know, even my stepdaughter, you feel me? So I do have a daughter, I have a stepdaughter, so you feel me? I get that from all, but I ain't really trying to, you feel me, have no daughter of my own just yet, you feel me? Not from my blood just yet. It's just, I don't know. I just seen so many different sides to it, but my boy is kind of easier because I could be me to him. You know what I'm saying? I want to change who I am. That sounds crazy, but I don't want to change, you know, my thought process for my kids. Like I want them to be able to adapt at what I'm doing. I don't want to have to, and I don't mean that in a selfish way because I can. I do it with my stepdaughter, but it's like you walking on water, like you walking on glass. I don't want to do that with my sons. You know what I'm saying? I want to be strict, disciplined, and then once we get through that phase of them having to learn and being able to, you know, in different angles, obviously, you know, when he's he's learning how to walk, I can let him go ahead and do that. When he fall, I don't want to have to just go run over and pick him up. My son used to fall all the time. He used to hit his head, hit his face, all that, but he used to get his ass back. He used to get back up, he used to get back up, and I used to love that. Like, he was strong. He used to get back up, and I didn't have to worry about that. You know, when you got a girl, it's not just what you think about it yourself. It's just how everybody else looking at it. Oh, she's a girl, go get. Yeah, I'm not saying that's the standard quote, but I don't even want to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? So I want to throw the football. I want to do physical things with my sons as I get older. Me and my son work out right now. You see on YouTube. Whenever he's around, we work out together. So I want that to continue to be the norm, which is not saying that a girl can't do that as well, but, you know, just keep pace, you know what I'm saying, until I get older and brittle, and then, you know, I could still be a little poor with my sons. You see what I'm saying? So we could all grind, all learn, and I could be hard because everybody's, you know, coming up as a kid has an attitude to think that they know what they want, but I could be definitely a little bit harder on my sons. So yeah, I'm super excited. 2 boys, that's what I want. I might not even risk it again. You feel me? Just off the strength until I get a little bit older. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but I think personally, when we talk about how old you are, and I can't assume, you know, just God willing that you could have kids, but when you don't have kids at a certain age, man, it gives me red flags. Like, why do you not have kids at 33 and you either look good or you're in a stable position? Or what is the red flag? What, you can't trust people. You never fell in love. For a man, I feel like he wants to not have responsibility. You don't have kids at a later age, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a red flag on you, you know. Either looking for something out of life that you haven't achieved yet, or, you know, you're not there financially. Even if you got $1 million, bro, you're still looking to achieve something bigger, and that's fine, but that doesn't necessarily attract real love, you know what I'm saying? So you always, or you can't put out real love, so that's a red flag for me when I see people without kids, you know what I'm saying? I would prefer somebody with kids at this age, not only because I have kids, because like I said, I know if you don't have kids, you never really put your trust in anybody, you know what I'm saying? Or you're just not a trustworthy person, or you don't think you haven't outgrown the stage of being, you know, comfortable in what you have in your own skin. But that's just me personally. You know, I see it a lot, and people can always be like, well, no, I want more for myself, and you know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on da-da-da, but how long are you going to wait? How long do you see yourself in a light that you continually have to grow? Where are you going to be mature enough to be like, okay, well, I'm ready now? And as far as, you know, having other relationships, that will, you know, prohibit those, because nigga, you have trust issues. You have, you know, you don't believe that you are supposed to be where you're at. That prohibits a relationship, which is cool, is smart to a certain extent, because we are here to give life, and there will be nothing happier than to, you know, give life. Everybody who rich tell you, like, the best thing about it is the family and the kids. Yeah, you want the money, but materialistic things, man, outside of convenience and comfortability, it don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean nothing. You know, it's always like a hoorah for having a good skill to make money, but, you know, nothing better than spending time with my family and kids, bro, and seeing them comfortable. So if you have to continue to build, you know, to be comfortable at, you know, as we getting older, I'm not saying right now you have to have it all figured out, but you don't have a comfortable space for family to come or whatever the case may be, it's a red flag. Honestly, it's a red flag. You don't got no kids. You never made anybody feel as though it was safe enough to have kids with you. You know, it's a red flag to be getting older and not have kids. But that's just my personal opinion. You know, as I get into this mature age and, you know, be around older people, they usually tell me the same thing. It was like, bro, you just weren't ready to have kids because you had trust issues, you had money issues, you didn't see yourself in a certain light. It's a lot of different red flags, but people right now with no kids will never say that, but I know the truth, you know what I'm saying? I know, because I had a 10-year gap between my children, so I know in them 10 years I was trying to find myself, figure out what I was going to do next, and it wasn't until I felt safe that I had a baby with, you know, my current, you know, girlfriend. So, you know, it was a lot. It was a lot. So I don't know. I'm just super excited again, you know, to have my baby boy and, you know, build my family up. The Stubbs name legacy. And keep going. Shout out to my my baby boy right now, Adrian. You know what I'm saying? Your little brother on the way.